Hello, I'm Maggie Williams, and this is a short video to explain how to use knowledge clips in the course of user research. So what will I be talking about? Students will work in pairs to make a knowledge clip for one part of the body of knowledge for user research. And today I will explain why do we work with knowledge clips, how to make one, and what needs to be in one. So, videos is based on student preference. Students have told us many times that they prefer to work with videos. It shows from research. Using the videos enables us to work in a flipped classroom setting, and also by letting the students make the videos themselves, it enables them to achieve higher levels of learning. In a traditional classroom, a student goes to class, gets a lecture, goes back home, studies, goes to another lecture, goes back home, studies, and so on until the exam. Most of the actual studying happens at home, where the lecturer is not there to facilitate or coach learning. This isn't ideal, and this is why there's now a lot of talk about the flipped classroom, which means that students beforehand prepare to be able to participate in class activities. During the class, there is much more active learning and facilitated by the teacher, and then again afterwards, students check their learning and extend on their knowledge. So this concept of the flipped classroom is a hot topic, and we try to work more and more along these type of lines. So why knowledge clips, or why do we let the students make them? It's not just because I'm kind of lazy and don't want to make all of them. It enables students to achieve higher forms of learning. And just checking, yes, it's recording. Student retention rates. If students go to a class, they remember very little afterwards. If it's slightly more active, they already will remember more. If they are actively involved, as in discussions or practice, students will even remember more actively and easily remember more. But the most, if they explain it to peer students. If you have to make a knowledge clip about a topic, you really need to understand it in depth. Think about examples, how to explain it to others, so you'll have deeper knowledge. So by using this method, students have deeper learning, and that is of course what we want in the end. How can you make a knowledge clip? There's different ways of doing it. Whoa, that was not what I was looking for. One of the ways is making a narrated PowerPoint. If you have a PowerPoint and you go to the slideshow tab, you can push the button to record a slideshow. You record your voice alongside the slideshow, and you can then show it as a video. However, then you just have your voice, and for expression and making contact with the people that are watching the video, it can be much more helpful to have a talking head somewhere in the video. And you can do that by using the Screencast-O-Matic, for example, as I'm using now. And okay, so yeah, that was my mistake. I pushed the button, but then it just stopped the recording. I cannot show how the recording works while I'm doing it, but if you go to the website of Screencast-O-Matic, there you can easily start recording or download the app to do the recording. Okay, and I'll put some other resources about that on PowerPoint as well. So no. Here is the PowerPoint again, and how to make a knowledge clip. Keep it structured. Make it a maximum of 10 minutes. Think about the quality of the sound. If that's bad, it won't work. Do a short trial run. Make a 1.5 minute video, and then continue. Well, use visuals. Having a talking head is not the only visual that's helpful. Don't wear stripes or dots. Leave space for the talking head, because if you have text over here and the talking head goes over it, people can't read it. And again, more resources will be put on Feedback Fruits. So then, once you've made your knowledge clip, what do you do with it to share? You have to make it into a public YouTube video, and then you put it on Feedback Fruits in the video space. In that way, we can ask questions and make annotations on Feedback Fruits next to the videos, and even in that sense enlarge and enrich our body of knowledge. What needs to be in the knowledge clip? Body of knowledge is mostly about how to, or about what. For a how to, use introduction, background, outline of the how to, an example, roundup, and a conclusion. So what is, as a background, explain something about where it is within the rest of the body of knowledge, where in your research process you could apply it. Of course, make a structured step-by-step what you need to do, what you need to prepare maybe. Give an example to make it more alive and connectable, and round it up with a conclusion or a take-home message. One of the take-home messages that I use, for example, when I talk about questionnaires, is that I always say that questionnaires are for lazy designers that are only looking to get their assumptions confirmed. This is a very clear message, and this is something that can stick in people's mind, and okay, I have to remember that when I'm thinking about doing a questionnaire. And introduce an exam question, because then we can use that again in Feedback Fruits. Let me just show you then where that will be, because that will be easier. Feedback Fruits. So we have Feedback Fruits, study material, and there we have the thing on knowledge clips. So here there is a list of who does what, where you can put in your name for the which knowledge clip you want to make. Come on, work with me. Yes. And then here, under the you make, whoops. So here is the first video on knowledge clips, and then all the other videos can come below that. So that was the how to, and then end it with an exam question, because also in Feedback Fruits other people can give then the answers and you can share each other's answers. What question, give an introduction again, background, where is it relevant, definition. Definitions are important also to memorize for the exam, but also to be very clear. So if possible, take a definition from the book. Give an explanation, including an example. Again, round up, conclusion, take home message, and an example question. So for me, for this knowledge clip, as a roundup, as you might see that the parts of the body of knowledge, there's I think 28 parts, and some of them are smaller subjects and some of them are larger subjects. That might be unequal, and it might seem to you, well, it's unfair if I can choose between having to do a large piece of work or a smaller one. On the other hand, if you take on a large piece of work, then you will know that in depth, and in that sense you will be well prepared for the exam, because you don't have to go over that again. So it's unequal, but it doesn't mean that it's unfair. So I hope you accept that. So an example exam question. So one of the topics of the knowledge clips is experiment. And letting you as students make these knowledge clips, it's a little bit like an experiment, because I have to see how it will work. I don't know what the quality of the knowledge clips will be like. I don't know how willing you are to actually make these knowledge clips. And even though there is good theory, I don't know how effective it will be in your learning. So these are the things that I will try to measure during and after this course. So in that sense, you could call it an experiment. However, there is a quite strict definition of what is an experiment. So the exam question could be, explain why or why not the practice in this course fits the definition of an experiment. Think about it. Who knows? It might come back on the exam. That's it for today. Adios.